started to go through them, and I started to find really amazing images in amongst the old wedding photos and vacation photos and blurry nothing. I would find these pictures that I thought, like, this is like a little sort of piece of lost art.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize other people did this, but I was sort of thinking, I love photography, I love black and white photography, I love old photography, I can't afford to buy famous photography, but I can afford that as 50 cents. And if I look hard enough, I can find some really beautiful stuff, and it'd be kind of cool to like collect this stuff in a casual basis.
Right.
And my instinct just went toward the sort of dark, weird, Edward Gorey, Tim Burton-y Victorian stuff, and pretty soon I had a collection of creepy old pictures.
And you did end up monetizing them.
Yes, I did.
So
well, I didn't necessarily mean to, but I brought them to my editor, Jason Rakulak, who's in the audience. Where are you, Jason? Being shy.
Yeah, he's way back there. You couldn't get him a better seat.
He's heard this all before. And I had written one book with Quirk before, which was called the Sherlock Holmes Handbook. And there was just sort of an open door where it was like, well, you know, if you have any other ideas, we should work together on something again. And I thought, well, they do visual stuff great, design great, but they didn't publish novels, and I didn't write novels. But when I found the images, I sort of thought, there's a story here, and I'd love to tell a story. But I almost didn't have the guts to say, I'd love to write a novel to Jason, but somehow he read my mind and was like, well, maybe we can put these together and you can weave a story through them. And I was like, yep, that sounds great.
Always let them think it's their idea.
Yeah.
That's the key. So, but this is something we were talking about a little before, but I want to hit on it, is this notion of, so you had these photographs, and then you let the photographs inspire and kind of dictate where, so it wasn't, you're not just staring at something, you had a jumping off point. And I think it's really interesting to kind of reverse engineer something creative in this way, because we were talking about this notion, you know, that people think like, oh, I just want limitless freedom. It's like, no, you don't actually. Like, there's a book called The Paradox of Choice that talks about, like, we don't want limitless choices, we want 3 choices. Like, our brains collapse a little bit if you have more than a couple choices. So I thought it was really a fantastic, you know, this notion of, like, true freedom is freedom within form, and you gave yourself a form, or you gave yourself some structures or rules along the way. I have to hit these photographs along the way. I did this for my first movie where I said, okay, I want a writer's late for a meeting. He gets stuck with a boy who gets separated from his family on the subway is one thing. I wanted to base another character on my friend Rachel who had alopecia, and I wanted a character, I didn't know who, singing a Candor and Ebb song called Sing Happy at the end of the movie. And that's what I had, and I wouldn't deviate from those rules. It's very specific, but to me it was kind of like I had the outside of the puzzle, the edges, and then I filled it in. And I kind of feel like that's a version of this, and it's almost like an anchor or a lifeline that you can always lean back on. And even if you're stuck, right, would you sometimes look at photographs and kind of get re-inspired?
Yeah, totally. So
can you just talk about this, that very weird process of using this as a, you know, guide you?
It is weird. The blank page is terrifying. Especially for someone who's never written a novel before. But even if you've written a lot of novels, the blank page can be pretty terrifying. And we were talking about this before, but there's a quote that's misattributed to Orson Welles, which is, freedom is the enemy of creativity, which is just this thing where we need a little bit of form. So it was kind of my leg up into writing a story.